Hi and welcome back to the Citizen channel. We're all staying safe and well. Continue our look at the Benjamin Mendy Louis Saha MATTURIE trial. We're up to day 36 now, 9th of November 2022. So please join me for that. And please, if you are new to the channel, push that subscribe up, push the bell notifications. Everything's City, past, present, forever. The good, the bad, and the not so good and the pretty ugly. So please join me, and it'd be great to have you on board. Leave us your comments. Let me know what you're thinking, especially about this court case taking part at Chester at the moment. And please, if you can, give us a little thumbs up, guys. It's nice to get views and get lots of views for these court things, but just give us a thumbs up. I mean, if you're on YouTube or Twitter yourself, you know it's nice to get likes, isn't it? We all like it. It just makes an old City fan very, very happy and appreciated. Thank you very much. Right, to summarise. Mr. Mendy, 28, is accused of 7 counts of rape against 4 women, 1 count of attempted rape and 1 count of sexual assault. The offences are alleged to have taken place at his Cheshire mansion between October 2018 and August 2021, relating to 7 women in total. Mr. MATTURIE is from Eccles, Salford, is accused of 6 counts of rape and 3 counts of sexual assault related to 7 women. Judge Stephen Everett resides at Chester Crown Court, and my thanks as ever to the Manchester Evening News for their court reports. And certainly for the morning session till lunchtime, we have Thomas George as the court reporter, so my thanks to them. Benjamin Mendy is continuing to give evidence at his rape trial, as his rape trial that resumed this morning. He's facing cross-examination from Timothy Craig KC, who's prosecuting. Mr. Craig is asking Mr. Mendy questions in relation to woman 1, who accuses a city defender of attempting to rape her at his home on the afternoon of October the 25th, 2018. He asked Mr. Mendy whether he was drunk at the time of the alleged incident. I'm not drunk, but I can't say I was sober, says Mr. Mendy. Yesterday, Mr. Mendy told jurors he asked woman 1 if they could have sex after entering a bathroom at his home while she was showering. Mr. Cray asked whether he thought it was okay to make the approach just because his friend had given him the go-ahead. Yeah, Mr. Mendy answers. Mr. Cray continues, were you hoping to have sex with her? If she wanted to, yeah, said Mr. Mendy. He denies using force after entering the bathroom while woman 1 was in the shower. Mr. Mendy is now being asked about his relationship with his co-defendant, Louis Saha MATTURIE. He says he has known Mr. MATTURIE for 6 years and describes him as a good friend. Mr. Mendy tells jurors he gave Mr. MATTURIE the keys to his apartment in Chapel Street, Salford, where he would organise parties. At those parties, Mr. Mendy says Mr. MATTURIE would stay sober to make sure he was okay. He admits giving his co-defendant money. Was not just cash, suggests Mr. Cray. You transferred money from your bank account to his bank account. Yes, Mr. Mendy replied. Mr. Cray suggests that Mr. Mendy transfers £17,000 to Mr. MATTURIE in August 2021. Mr. Cray asked Mr. Mendy about holding parties at his home after he had been arrested and granted bail by police. Mr. Mendy says he did not tell Manchester City about the parties. After one in January 2021, Mr. Mendy says he had to leave early the next morning to sit on the bench for City during an away match at Chelsea. Mr. Cray asked him, as a professional footballer, do you think your behaviour after your arrest was professional? No, answers Mr. Mendy. He tells the juror that he knew it was wrong to be hosting the parties during lockdown and in breach of his bail. Following a short break, Benjamin Mendy is continuing to give evidence before the jury. Mr. Cray suggests to Mr. Mendy that woman 6 was asleep when he started to have sex with her. The city defender is accused of raping her during a party at his home in the early hours of July the 24th, 2021. She was awake the whole time, Mr. Mendy replies. Mr. Mendy is now being re-examined by his defence barrister, Eleanor Laws KC. She asked him about his claims that he was not sober at the time woman 1 alleges he attempted to rape her. He says that on the morning of the alleged incident, he had drank 1 or 2 glasses of tequila. However, he says he felt pretty normal at the time. Ms. Laws also asked Mr. Mendy about a comment he made in evidence about being direct towards women. She adds, have you ever just grabbed a woman? No, never, Mr. Mendy replies. Mr. Mendy is now being asked about the £17,000 he gave to Mr. MATTURIE. He says this money was transferred over several months in 42 different payments and was for food, alcohol, lifts and clothes. He tells jurors he would also give Mr. MATTURIE money to buy things for him. Mr. Mendy is asked about his attitude towards sex at the time of the alleged offences. I was trying to be more direct to avoid conversation or go on dates, says Mr. Mendy. That's why I was quick and direct if they wanted to have sex to avoid all that. Ms. Laws asked Mr. Mendy about a comment he made about having driven his car under the influence of alcohol. Mr. Mendy says he feels embarrassed about having done so in the past. It's not a nice thing to do, he adds. At the time, I was not thinking about all of that, the parties, the COVID rules. It was like the train was going fast and I was keep going and going until I went to prison. It was the first time I was really alone, had time to think about everything. Mr. Mendy says that following his arrest, he has sold his Lamborghini and had stopped sending money to family members in France. At 1:25 p.m. the trial was adjourned for lunch, and there will be continued updates after 2:30 p.m. Seamus MacDonald took over court reporting duties for the Manchester Evening News for the afternoon session, and the trial resumed with the jury hearing from Jodie Deakin, who worked as a first team support manager for City for about 10 years until August 2020. She says she met Benjamin Mendy after he joined the club in 2017 and knew him extremely well. Miss Deakin says she was in contact with Mr. Mendy on a daily basis as he needed more support than others and knew him more than most of the other players. Asked to describe Mr. Mendy, she says, Benjamin was the nicest person you will ever meet. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He comes across as a joker. She adds, when you get to know him, he's more of an introverted extrovert. He can command a room and be the centre of attention to mask anything he is dealing with. Ms. Laws asked Miss Deakin if she would describe Mr. Mendy as arrogant. He is not arrogant in the slightest, the witness replies. He is extremely personable. He's the kind of person everyone wants to be around in that industry. He has a way of making people feel comfortable and happy. Asked what her role at Manchester City was, Miss Deakin says, my role was to take care of everything off the pitch so they could solely focus on winning the Premier League and doing their job to the best of their ability. Ms. Laws asked Miss Deakin whether she had any concerns about Mr. Mendy. The witness says she was worried that Mr. Mendy did not have anybody at home I would consider a close person that could help him. When he was in trouble, as much as he had friends around him, he did not have anybody who was close enough to help, Miss Deakin says. Miss Deakin says Mr. Mendy's transfer fee carried a lot of weight in terms of expectation when he joined City. She described him as a very popular member of the City team. The witness tells the jury she saw women at Mr. Mendy's home when she visited his home at 8:30 in the morning when he was due to head to training. Miss Deakin says Mr. Mendy attracted a lot of attention. She continues, he's quite, excuse me, he's quite a flamboyant person in the way he dresses. He drips in designer, and a lot of girls would be attracted to that look, so he would get a lot of attention. Miss Deakin says that part of her role, she had a key to Mr. Mendy's home. She says she became aware that bills had not been paid at the address. There were instances where letters would come to the house, she tells the jury. It was asking for payment for things that had not been paid. She says she informed Mr. Mendy that bills had not been paid and flagged the matter with his agent. The jury finished hearing evidence for the day and will resume tomorrow morning, Thursday, the 10th of November. So join me then. Let me know your comments. Until we meet again, that's one thing. Please stay safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.